So to start with the header, I'll open up a new terminal window here in my IDE, and I'll create a new component for that header. So I will navigate into my source folder and then the app folder. This is where my recipe book component lives. And I will use ng generate, or just G, and then C, or component if you want to use the long form. And I will name this header. So this will be my header component. Now, I also want to make this flat, which means don't create a new folder for it. Create it in the same folder I'm currently in, so in this app folder. This creates this new component. You can see the files here. I'll get rid of the test file and of the style file. Delete anyway, thank you. And remove that code, and also remove that CSS import here. So that's my header component. Looks pretty good. I don't have to do anything here. All I want to do for now is I want to work on my HTML code. Now for that, I will go to Bootstrap, then Components, and then to Navbar to grab the default Bootstrap navigation bar. And I will grab all that code here, which is too much, but I'll strip some of it out in a second. And with that, well, as I said, I don't need all that code here. Now be aware that the collapsing won't work if you don't import Bootstrap's JavaScript code, which we're currently not doing. So I'm building a desktop-only navigation bar here. And well, that's just something you have to be aware of. If you want to build your cross-application or cross-device application, make sure to include the Bootstrap JavaScript package as well, or handle the collapsing in some other way. But for now, what I will do is I will replace brand with recipe book here. I'll leave the rest. I'll get rid of this button since, as I said, I won't have collapsing in my application, even though I know that it will collapse with those CSS classes. But yeah, I think you get my point. Now here, regarding all those links here, I won't have a drop-down here. I will instead only have some links. And I don't need this active class here. I don't need that. And instead here I will have a link to recipes and here to my shopping list. So I trimmed that down quite a bit. And of course these links aren't leading anywhere, as we haven't even talked about routing in this course yet. So that's fine. I'll get rid of the search bar. And down here, I want to keep something here. I'll later add my directive to have a drop-down, a working drop-down. Right now that won't work without the Bootstrap JavaScript code, and I don't want Bootstrap to handle this drop-down. So I'll get rid of this link here, get rid of this data toggle thing. The rest may stay here, but drop-down should be renamed to user because I'll group my user-related links in this drop-down. And I will have links like login or some other user action maybe. And then I'll keep the separator, and here I might have the logout link, but we'll take care of this later. So that will be the HTML code of my navigation bar, quite a bit less than I copied in here in the first place. And with that, I can include this component in my recipe book component like you learned it in the videos. I'll need to import it first. So I'll import it from the header component file without the TS at the end. So no file ending here. You never have that when importing with that syntax here. So I'll import the header component from that file. And of course, I also have to add it to my directives metadata here to have it available in my recipe book application. Now inside my recipe book HTML file, so the root components HTML file, I'll add the recipe book header. This is the selector of my header. Recipe book header, RB was the prefix I was specifying when creating this project with ng new, if you remember that. So with that, I'm implementing the header, and then below here, I would have my recipes and so on. So if I save this, let's have a look at that. Looks good. So as you can see, we got the header here as we set it up, pop-up not working as explained. And here we can add our recipes and shopping list components. So let's do that next.